are now listening to the Dad Rules Podcast with your hosts, Mario E. and Kid.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Dad Rules Podcast, where we help you dad better. I'm one of your hosts, Mario E. and Kid. What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Glad to be here. What you got for us today?
All right, so today we're going to talk about look before you leap. All right, Kid, you want to start us off?
Yeah, look before you leap. So I don't know if we're gonna be on the same page on this, but I'm gonna go with what I think about first when I say look before you leap. I don't know why I thought about this, but I thought about burning bridges. You know, because you need to be careful about the bridges that you burn. I think sometimes we get caught up with our emotions. And just me, y'all can feel differently than I feel, but I just don't feel like men should be led by their emotions. If your emotions are flowing or whatever, it's okay. It's a natural reaction. It's a natural reaction to cry. It's a natural reaction to be upset, but they shouldn't be guiding you in your decision making. Go ahead and go through that emotion and then get yourself back together logically and make logical decisions. And I think it calls for us to, bite our tongues, think before you speak, being slow to speak. And also, I felt like we need to humble ourselves sometimes. As a father, if I have a relationship with somebody and I'm upset, and let's say that it might be a business relationship where I'm making money with this person and I get upset and then I just say, man, you know what? Forget it. Forget everything. We don't have to do no more business. Well, what if this is your primary income? What if you're in business with this person and this is your primary income of living and making money? You can't think about yourself when you're a father and you're the head of a family. You got to take your time and think logically. You burn that bridge, it's not only your mouth that needs to be fed. You're in charge of feeding your wife, your children. All of them can possibly suffer because of the decisions that you make.
Yeah.
And I also think about, I don't know why I'm always thinking about business things, but like, I guess in my personal life, me and my wife are thinking of different business ventures that we're about to go into. And when I talk to her, and usually when I bring forth an idea, most of the time she's on board. If she's not on board with the idea that I have, I need to go back and check myself. Because it's something about it where she doesn't feel confident with it. But most of the time she's on board with me because she knows that I'm doing the research prior to jumping into something. So that I also thought about that with looking before you leave. Going into a new business, changing careers. We need to do the research. Make sure we know what we're getting into. Counting up the costs, because it's not just me anymore. It's my family that I gotta look after. I don't want to make a wrong decision and then my family doesn't have a roof over their head anymore. I don't want to make the wrong decision and they don't have food on the table anymore. Right. I don't want to make the wrong decision, then we don't have a car to drive anymore. Because that starts bringing in a whole lot of other problems. And I talk about money because that's something that we all deal with. Okay, everything good right now because you're making money. Let the money stop coming in. And you can't buy the baby milk. and we'll see how good the relationship continues to go.
Yeah.
That you got some good communication skills going on there, and y'all on the same page. Okay, babe, we're in a rough patch right now. You know what's going on. We're gonna bounce back, and y'all working together. But let you have an income, and that income be gone at the snap of a finger, and think that she's not gonna be a little upset or concerned. Don't fool yourself.
Right. Right.
So, you know, I'm very big on research and making sure that you know exactly what you're getting into. And I'm not telling you to be scared. I'm not telling you to be worried about what you're getting into as an entrepreneur or a father just making decisions for their family. But you need to know exactly what you're jumping into, especially because you're bringing your family with you. It's way more important than just being out here as a single man and making decisions with no strings attached. That's a whole lot easier than making those moves with a family.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like as fathers, we have to mature really quick. The day that you become a father, that's the day you got to look at things differently than when you looked at it when you were single. And I feel like a certain amount of fathers is out here moving like they don't have that responsibility. And I'm telling you, like, guys, wake up. If you living reckless out here, you got to be living and thinking about your kids, man. That's the most important thing, because there are no do-overs. What you do is what you do. There are no second chances.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's right.
what you think?
Yeah. So first thing, I had no idea where you were going when you were talking about burning bridges. I was like, man, where's this going?
I told you. I said,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're gonna be on the same page. You said, no, man, go with it. So I went with it.
Yeah, go with it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But you basically you touched on a lot of the same things I was talking about. And what I got from it when you was talking about don't burn the bridges, I looked at it as don't make hasty decisions. A lot of that what you were talking about, right? And then you actually touched on a lot of the same things I had on my notes to kind of cover. And this, you were talking about it from business, and when I was writing it in my notes, I was thinking about it from business, but you can apply it to so many different things. But, I wrote down, do your homework, right?
Cool.
Do your homework, do your research, right? And that goes for business, that goes for, just making any type of decision, because things have consequences. Things have, you have to count up the costs, like you said, and count up, is this a dangerous move? Is this not a dangerous move? The thing I like about the saying, it doesn't say don't leap. Okay.
Yeah.
It just says look before you leap. Right. So that's the difference. It is not to say that, hey, you can't take a risk as a business owner, because as an entrepreneur, there's going to be plenty of times you're going to take some calculated risk if you want to be successful, right? There's going to be some things that you're going to do that may look kind of weird to some people, but
Absolutely.
You've thought about it. You've looked into it. You've like, okay, this makes sense, and this is why I'm doing this, and I have a reason for it. It may not make sense of why you are doing certain things, but you've looked into it. You've thought about it. Again, it doesn't say not to leap. It just says look before you leap. Right.
Yeah.
So that's something that I think about with that. When you're picking friends, when we're teaching our kids, about hanging with the right people and all those types of things, you got to make sure you're aligning yourselves with people who aren't going to put you in harm's way. So, if you see some dudes over here, some young ladies over here, and they're doing some reckless things, you don't need to be over there. We need to teach our kids those types of things. They're leaping without looking. Don't be foolish like them. Be wise. Okay. Have some wisdom about yourself, some notes, something where you can look at it and say, that's not wise. I'm not going to be a part of that over there. So those are some of the things I think about And I talked about counting up the costs. Again, is nothing wrong with that. Some people may think that that's not the right way to do it, or that's boring or whatever, but no, you have to look at things and you have to examine things. You don't have to study it to the nth degree sometimes, to where you get paralysis by analysis, as they say. But with a whole lot of things, you need to take a look at it before you do it, because that's not wisdom. And we definitely want to teach our kids, about wisdom and to be wise.
You made me think about something, because you basically saying, just because you're saying look don't mean that you're saying don't lead.
Right.
And I think about that because it's always like a saying, or people have this, feeling of you need to live like there's no tomorrow. And we've even had sayings like YOLO, you only live once.
Mm-hmm.
And you can live like there's no tomorrow without being reckless. I think that's the confusion. When a lot of people say live like no tomorrow, that means, man, I'm just gonna do everything that I see. I'm gonna try everything. No, that doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
That means, hey, man, look, you got goals, you got dreams and things you're trying to do, or things you're trying to accomplish for your family. Pursue it like it's no tomorrow.
Exactly.
Exactly right. Pursue it like tomorrow is your last day on the earth, and I have to accomplish this, and I'm gonna give it everything I got. That's living like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Visiting places and going on vacations of places that you've never been, or things that you see only in magazines. And you talk to your wife about that. You talk to your kids about, hey, I'm gonna take y'all here one day, and I'm gonna do this one day. One day we're gonna vacation in the south of France. Or, I hear people say that all the time. I really don't want to go to France, but I hear people say that all the time.
Yeah.
But those dreams that you have, pursue them, go get them, but they just think like, it's always about the turn up. When people say live like no tomorrow, that doesn't mean living like there's no tomorrow doesn't mean I have to be intoxicated tomorrow. That doesn't mean that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we have to advise our kids on what it really means to just like live life to the fullest. And people don't understand. I think people always feel like they have to use some type of substance to get a high, or to feel good, or to feel alive. Yeah. And like I was telling some young people years ago, with some younger guys that I was mentoring, I was like, man, it's been plenty of times that I was out, man, and I was just high off life. Just being around good people, being around your friends, and just having good conversation and having a good time and just laughing uncontrollably.
Yeah.
Just having a good time with your friends, not because I was high or because I was drunk or anything like that. It was just like, just enjoying life. And I think sometimes we don't even realize, man, all the blessings that are put before us, and all these things that are put down on this earth for us. Just going for a walk, man, in the wilderness. Just listening to the birds chirp, and, seeing a deer walking with her baby or something like that. Like, that stuff make you feel good, man. I know it sounds corny, but
that's
good stuff in life, man. Just hearing the creek, the water going up against the rocks, man. It's like,
we talked about that on another episode, man. I remember, just plenty of times, just stop and you smell a flower. We were walking the other week here, me and my family, on Sunday nights. We've kind of developed this, I don't even know if I'd call it tradition or whatever yet, but over the last month or so, Sunday evenings before it gets dark, we'll just take a walk, And I remember growing up, my wife and I, when we used to live in the same apartment complex when we were kids, right? In the projects or whatever, as a lot of people would call it.
Yeah.
You know, there was like a I don't know what you call them. I don't know if it's a vine of honeysuckles or the row. It was just some honeysuckles. And I remember, you know, you would take the honeysuckle and you would pinch the bottom of it, pull it out, and then you would taste the honeysuckle, you know, the stuff that was inside it.
Y'all some wild kids.
I don't know if anybody else ever done that, but we did it plenty of times, right? And I remember we were walking, my wife and I, we were walking, and you know, we saw the honeysuckles. We started to talk about that. You know, we didn't take those honeysuckles and did them because my wife thought they looked a little too withered, you know. So we didn't do that with those. But yeah, I mean, just little things like that, man. You know, and a lot of times, like you said, a lot of people had these sayings, you know, YOLO or live like there's no tomorrow. But you know, you can still do that and not do it recklessly. You know, you can still, you know, not go out there and make some crazy rash or wild, you know, unwise decisions and still live, you know, a happy and living life to the fullest.
Yeah,
as
life.
say. Yeah.
Right.
So it's a lot out there to do, man. And you know, again, like I said, the saying doesn't say don't leave, it just says look before you leave. So think about it before you do it.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled.
And bro, like for real, it's a lot of times, man, when people just take time and just think. I mean, even in arguments, it's like just take time and just think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was having a conversation with somebody maybe about a week ago or whatever. And like I could just tell, like when I got on the phone with this person, like they wanted to argue. But you know what I did? I took time and I thought at that moment. I said, man, this person masters in the art of arguing. And I'm not going to give them the ammo that they need. So I'm going to take my time and I'm going to make them have a conversation. And what I did was I just sat back and I just listened. And you know what? They didn't have much to say because they were prepared to argue with me. And once they saw that they couldn't argue with me, they had nothing to say. There were no complaints. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes it's like you got to take that time. And like I said, that's looking before you leap into a situation. Because you can get into a situation real quick. You can get right in there and be like, how in the world, how am I arguing with you right now?
Yeah.
People will suck you into an argument before you really can think. But I was thinking, and I took my time and I stopped and I waited. I was like, I'm going to let them talk. I'm going to let them explain everything that they're feeling right now. And they had no substance to what they were saying. So it really ended the conversation really quickly because I simply let them talk.
Yeah.
So
only a fool will argue with himself, you know?
Yeah.
And you didn't let that person, you know, you didn't engage, you know, you didn't engage in the argument. So otherwise they'd have just been arguing with themselves. So
yeah,
that's good. That's good.
Hey, the $1 million question though for this conversation is it true or not true that you were trying to spit games to your wife back in the day?
Huh?
Yes. So like when y'all were like kids, because I didn't know that. And I've known about y'all for years. But I didn't know that y'all like lived that close together. Like y'all used to play together as kids. So I'm saying, but like you were putting in work to get her to marry you all the way back then. That was your plan. I got it now. You can't talk me out of that.
No, it really wasn't. We weren't
it's
like
a 20-year plan of this is how I'm going to get her to marry me one day. And it worked.
Like that. It wasn't like that. Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't. I wish I could say it was, but it wasn't. I mean, you know, we grew up in the same
honeysuckles, baby? That's how you was on. You was spin the game. I got this honeysuckle for you.
I wish I could say that, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't.
But man, yeah. But it is so true, man, because you just see so many people make so many bad decisions, man, just because they get caught up in the moment and they living reckless for that moment, man. And then you just mess up. You mess up, and it's hard to undo those mistakes.
Yep.
When you're just living reckless and just out of control. And I just feel like as men, we have to be under control. We have to think logically. That's not easy. It's definitely not easy, especially when we get angry.
Yeah, it takes discipline.
Yes.
A lot of discipline.
Yes. Anger under control, man. It's power. Like, show so much power by just holding those emotions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. You got anything else, man?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, we thank you guys for listening to the Dad Rules podcast. So your host, Mario E. and Kid. We're signing out, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Let's get this out here, okay? All right, guys. Peace.
Later.
Thank you for listening to the Dad Rules podcast with your host, Mario E. and Kid. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, follow and like us on Facebook and Instagram. You can find our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Breaker, and Player FM. Till next time.